Hello, here I am with another video on the general prologue of Canterbury Tales, and I promised to start with the Franklin, so let's read about him. There was a Franklin with him, it appeared, white as a daisy petal, what his beard! A sanguine man, high colored and benign. Sanguine is one of the four humors. So when a person is called to be sanguine, it means that his or her countenance is kind, more hearty, more emotional, and more communicative and socially, we can say, extrovert. He loved the morning sup of cake and wine. So he starts eating alcohol from the early morning. He lived for pleasure and had always done. For he was Epicurus' very son. Epicurean philosophy relies on enjoying your life and seizing the moment. Then it promotes a kind of hedonism. And it is very ironical that this person who is so much immersed in worldliness is going on a spiritual journey as he is on his pilgrimage to Canterbury was the one true felicity inside. As noted as Saint Julian was for bounty, he's very generous. To be bounty means to be generous. He made his household free to all the country. So he's very kind. The doors of his house is open to the members of the community. His bread, his ale were finest of the fine, and no one had a better stock of wine. His house was never short of baked meat pies, of fish and flesh and these and such supplies. You can see a case of alliteration here, fish, flesh, such supplies. It positively snowed with meat and drink and all the dainties that man could think. So his house is full of food, as if metaphorically snowing in his house with food and drinks. According to the seasons of the year, changes of dish were ordered to appear. He kept fat partridges, like this, in coops. Beyond, many a bream and pike were in his pond, so different fish and flesh. Woe to the cook unless the sauce was hot and sharp, or if it wasn't, on the spot. So you see, the cook has a high responsibility in his house, and in his hall a table stood arrayed and ready all day long, with places like you can eat any time at his house. As justice at the sessions none stood higher, he often had been member for the shire. A member of the shire at the time equals to be a member of the parliament today. A dagger and a little purse of silk hung as at his girdle white as morning milk. As sheriff, he checked audit every entry. He was a model among landed gentry. Landed gentry were the class of people who owned land. It was a kind of prestigious class in the hierarchy of medieval community. A haberdasher, a dyer, a carpenter, a weaver, and a carpet maker were among our ranks, all in the livery of one impressive a guild fraternity. So this group of professionals or members of the guild, different guilds are introduced together, and they are in a fraternity, meaning that when, for example, the carpet maker has a customer who needs a carpenter, this carpenter is introduced to him. It's like that. So they sent customers to one another. They were so trim and fresh. Their gear would pass for new. Their knives were not tricked out with brass, but wrought with purest silver, which vouches a like display on girdles and on pouches. So it seems that these people are new money. They are nouveau riche, and they have high aspirations for the future, as we were going to read in the next slides. Here we have a portrayal of them. Actually, I cannot say who is who, but you can guess for yourselves. Each seemed a worthy burgess. Burgess means, you can see, an inhabitant of the town who has the full rights of citizenship, fit to grace a guild hall with seat upon his days. Their wisdom would have justified a plan to make each one of them an elderman. And so they think about going higher in the social ladder. They had the capital and revenue, besides their wife declared it was their due. And if they did not think so, then they ought to be called madam. It's a glorious thought. And so is going to church and being sane, having her mantle carried like a queen. So, if even if the men think that they don't deserve it, their wives think they have to because they like to be called madam, and they wish to go to the church and considered by other people as more respectable. They had a cook with them who stood alone for boiling chicken with a marrow bone. So this cook boils and cooks chicken in a way that it is fully baked and there are no raw parts in it. So sharp flavoring powder and a spice for savor. He could distinguish London ale by flavor. He's such a professional cook, and he could roast and season and broil and fry different arts of cooking, make good thick soup and bake a tasty pie. But what a pity, so it seemed to me, that he should have an ulcer on his knee. As for blancmange, it's kind of a dessert. Uh, he made it with the best. And here you can see a picture of the cook who was carried to this pilgrimage by his masters who were the members of the guilds. And I would stop this video here, and in the next videos, some other figures are introduced among the pilgrims. The next one score is the skipper, and the people after skipper are also introduced in the videos that I would provide for you in the future time. So thank you for listening.